And we're live. Yeah, not much stuff to talk about, but gotta do it anyway, because I promised myself. Um, Forgot to turn off the lights. It's gonna be a very dark video, but it's okay. Waiting for the new lights to arrive. Don't know if they're gonna be good or not. An experiment in itself. Still rocking the same hoodie, but I'm at home, so that's how I am at home. That's how it's real, and that's how we fuck up the English right from the start. Dude. That's how we go. Just about 40 minutes ago, finished a call with the I guess a client, I can say, or like it was a small consultation call, and I don't want to do too much talking about the work and things like that because I feel like it can be boring. Although at the same time, I feel like I'm gonna end up talking about it a lot since I'm doing these daily or almost daily. Not a lot of things happening besides work. So, but yeah, I had a call with some very young guys that are doing a startup, and it was kind of funny how, like, people just, when they feel lost, they're willing to pay basically for anything just to get the answers, which is really crazy and which really makes me think, like, people are truly willing to buy anything if it's just the right moment. And it's kind of, I don't know, makes me sad. I also get it, like, it makes me understand how money works so much better, because people literally, they would buy something that makes no sense or has zero value, but because they have that emotional either pain or pleasure, right? Either like it's super painful and they're like, oh my god, I don't know what to do, I'm lost, I need someone's help, assistance. In that case, yeah, they would pay. And pretty much doesn't even matter how much they're willing to pay, even if it doesn't make sense, even if it's like super irrational, they would still like pay, because they believe it will heal their emotional problems and solve their situation. So that's the whole point of, I guess, finances and money, which is, again, it's so strange. I don't know, it's like the whole story with NFTs and people buying them. A really questionable thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't own any NFTs yet. I might buy some eventually if I really get into it and I feel like it makes sense. Definitely looks like an interesting market to try to earn some money right now. Not the value itself, but that's kind of the whole point. Like, why are people buying them? Because they just believe it has value. Even if it doesn't have any value right now, really, what's necessary? The whole picture, the NFT, like just the file, it does nothing. Literally, there is no point in having that. But if you attach these social like values or social, what do you call it? Like, there's like proof that you're a cool guy, that you have something rare, like that rarity, exclusivity, being special. That's what people are willing to pay for. And it's very interesting how NFT market kind of exploded in a way, although it has been around for a long time. I believe, if I'm not wrong, it has been for a couple of years, and kind of everybody was ignoring it until this year, pretty much. I feel like it just went through the roof, and now there's endless projects and endless everything. And yeah, the whole point is, right now it doesn't have any meaning or purpose unless you go into some specific details or specific projects, because, well, some people they attach like real world value to these NFTs. So if you're buying it, you're kind of becoming like a member of a club, which then gives you benefits in the real world. You can go to some meetings or have like some, I don't know, discounts, coupons, whatever it is, but there is like a real action behind this purchase. With majority of them, it's nothing. It's just a file. And the crazy part that I'm trying to get to is that people see that other people are buying, so they feel like, okay, this must be valuable. So if they think it's valuable, then I think it's valuable. So I want to buy it. Then the third person comes in, sees this crowd, everyone's buying, he also wants to buy, and all of this seems like a bubble. Although there is some kind of like side proof, maybe there is going to be the metaverse where you can apply these things, but kind of, I don't know, it really feels like a bubble, because if I try to remember and look back on like what actually happened and what was going on, I feel like I've seen some like influencers saying like, oh, this is trending, this is happening, like, I bought this thing for like $500 and now it's worth like 70,000, and it's not anymore because it kind of went down. It's not, nobody values that anymore. They used to be extremely, like, they came out, kind of became trending, got marketed really well. People started buying, the bubble kind of like inflates, and more people buy into it. Like it grows at some point, but then new projects come in that become like really mainstream. For example, the apes or whatever they're called, like celebrities are buying them now. Even the news hosts, what's his name, Jimmy, they're all called Jimmys, but what's his name? Jimmy Fallon, I think. He bought, yeah, I think it's Jimmy Fallon. And then there was like a short clip from his show that he actually bought it, which cost like 200 grand. And it was just a picture of an ape. And yeah, that's weird. And the point is, this is evolving really fast. So I feel like some projects that get picked up and they really become big, they can, I guess, also burst very fast, because there's almost like iterations. At first it was just like random pictures with some art, with like something that makes no sense. Now there's this trendy thing when there's like a type of character, like a rough model of a character that is dressed differently, has some different like looks, styles to it, haircuts, like tattoos on the face and things like that. So it's the same kind of avatar, but just slight different variations. And now I see the latest, newest projects that are like starting to trend right now, and I see like they're about to launch, about to become big, about to do something. It's exactly these avatars, but automatically you have these like kind of updates. So it's not just a static picture that you have, but it's something that is going to keep growing. So for example, after a week you're going to receive like a hat, and then after another week you're going to receive another t-shirt, and after another week you can like put like a tattoo on your face or put a piercing on that character. So now this is a lot more interesting, a lot more dynamic than just static pictures that are like have been selling for like $500,000, like 100,000, 50,000, which is like nuts crazy. Yeah, so it's very interesting where it's gonna go and if it's gonna burst or not. I actually don't even remember how I got to this topic, but yeah, that's NFTs for you. And then yeah, also like for example, scrolling to TikTok, like you would get into this like crypto thing, NFT thing, and then every single person is an expert. Every fucking like 12-year-old is like, oh yeah, I know how to buy this, how to do that, how to like sell these, I know how to predict prices. And if you actually try to research, nobody knows nothing. There's like so much, obviously, and of course, obviously, right? There is just so much words, so many promises, and nothing is being delivered. And this is kind of creepy in a way, because even like the biggest, most trusted people in crypto that are saying big predictions, they have been doing it for like many years, they have big following. Whenever they give a prediction or something like that, of course they always say, like it's not a financial advice, all of that stuff. But there are some videos where they just kind of like claim and promise and say all of the indicators are showing, this crypto is going to go up, this project is amazing, it's going to be great, it's like it has like everything added up, it's just going to explode in a moment, in a minute, in a second, and it doesn't. And there's never like a feedback or a response from them. They just move on to the new projects and new coins and just keep going like that. And then eventually some of these work out. And then they go back, kind of track back and say, oh, so you see, I told you about this project. You see, like now, like if you invested, you would have made like 10,000 times more money back because I told you so. But what about like all other like 100 projects that didn't go anywhere or just tanked or like nothing happened there? That's the really funny part. And I think it makes all the sense. Obviously, you know, like it's common sense, but if you're looking for trusted people who kind of make sense, who kind of can teach you something, it's just important to be patient and actually track what they're doing, how well they are informed and what kind of information they share with you, and most importantly, does it actually work? Because if you track their predictions over like a period of 3 months, everything's super clear. There's one guy I see, he posts all the time. He has his own community and like a group and following. It's like, I don't know, 20,000 people are just actively like, yeah, cool, hype. And the guy is like all the time acting cool. He's like, yeah, I told you, like easy money, easy pimping, easy like just like getting rich, doing nothing, all lazy. And I tracked his predictions on, I think it was 5-6 coins, different projects, crypto from him. Basically all of them went down. All of them went down, and because he keeps posting all the time. So yeah, he would invest probably in like 20 different projects, and whenever one of them goes up, he goes in and like, see, I told you, like I bought like 5,000 of that, now it's worth 20,000. But he never talks about the other ones that lose. And that's I don't know, doesn't make sense. Don't like that. Interestingly enough, people who are actually sharing their losses, it seems like it's a lot more real, and it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. It's almost like with social media or anything else. Like if a person can actually share the things that are bad about themselves or wrong, or like the ugly sides, the parts where they're wrong, or with the crypto, right? Like it's a false prediction, it didn't happen. If they can like accept that and actually like show mistakes, I think that shows like a ton more credibility. And it's again, yeah, transparency. That's the biggest thing, transparency. So yep, that's it. At this point, I got nothing else to talk about. This just randomly came to my mind. So there you go, timer. We got about 20 minutes more, maybe like 15. So what else do I want to talk about? Oh yeah, actually, this thing, I saw it yesterday. I'm gonna show the clip. I think I figured out a way to actually show it. So I'm gonna try to show it in the video. Basically, it's from football. Some football player running through the field. A judge touches him. He falls down, pretending like he was hit. Like
jogo. O Daverson simulou uma pancada do juiz.
It's an absolute like awful situation. Like it's ugly to look at that. And the whole trend of football players like falling down because they have been touched or slightly, like something happened, like someone looked at them or touched them slightly or pushed them slightly, and they fall down begging for this like card or a penalty shot or whatever it is. I think, well, first of all, it shows how strong the what's it called, incentive. It shows how incentives really have an impact on just overall human behavior. And there is a ton of like studies done on that, how important it is. And like these kind of videos, it's just a proof that, you know, if you incentivize a person to act in some certain way, like a football player falling down because he was touched, because there's a reward in the end. People will go for that. It's just that it feels like the right action, and I think the concept of that, like, it's like one of the strongest motivations. I know there was a video, Charlie Munger did a video back in the days, like there's a free recording on YouTube about this cognitive biases, and I don't know how it's called, I don't remember how it's called, but basically the way incentive works and how powerful it is, I believe, if I remember correctly, he even says like this is one of the most important ones to actually make decisions. And Charlie Munger is one of the like most amazing people on the planet in terms of money, running business. So he probably knows a lot about dealing with partners, workers, and just managing different social situations and things like that. I think that's a really like smart mind that kind of, you can just like ignore him because he's not just like a random guy from nowhere that just has an opinion. Like I am, pretty much. Um, so yeah, these incentives, it's a crazy part. And then the scary thing is that in our modern world, kind of the systems and everything really that's being built and created, there is zero thought about these deep internal systems that we have that make us make the decisions, like for example being incentivized to do something wrong. I think again Charlie Munger brings an example of an accountant, like if you hit a certain amount then you get a bonus, which incentivize an accountant to lie and make the numbers false because they get a bonus, so they can mess up the entire accounting, because for them that's a win. So their motivation is not to make it accurate, but to hit a certain goal, so they get the bonus. That really breaks the whole thing. That really breaks the whole system. And the scary part, again, I'm gonna go back to these COVID things, but there, I believe, within the European Union, there was some kind of law or agreement that countries that report the most like COVID cases, they will receive the most like funding to help fight the COVID. Oh shit, dude, that's the worst decision ever. This is the worst incentive that you can set, because numbers go through the roof in a second, dude, in a day. It's just free money. Like, do you want to get free money to your government if you are in control of that and you're actually capable like of like requesting that, and like just report like that you have insane explosion in your cases? The union sends you the money, and well, now you have a much better life and you can do so much more, and you can also put it into actually like helping people. But like, it's such a awful incentive. Like, it is literally a disaster. And I really would, I think it's funny, and I would really want to see an alternative. It's not possible, unfortunately, but I really wonder if the incentive was set like the other way around, where you have to have the least, it makes no sense, but you have to have the least cases, which then gives you like kind of more money because you're fighting with it so good, kind of. It, dude, this is how you make COVID cases go to zero in a day, literally, because that's really what everyone really cares about. It's just the money, unfortunately. But yeah, and back to this football thing. It's really frustrating to see how this kind of, I don't know, softness or weaknesses is a good thing and it's being rewarded, and that's becoming like, this is just football. And by the way, it's football. Like, it is like the biggest sport or one of the biggest sports in the world, and these are athletes, professional people who do sports. Like, they have to be, I thought, I would always think naturally that they have to be strong and like represent like power, strength, speed, like reaction, like all of these like amazing characteristics, but they show weaknesses and whining and like falling down and being miserable and like why is that allowed? Why is that not punished? How does that, like, why is there, I don't get it. Like, it does have an impact on everyone, and it's so even crazy because this video, it was posted on Reddit, and there's like a ton of discussions, and nobody likes that. Like, people are either laughing at it or they're straight up kind of disgusted, not disgust, that's a different word, right? So that's yeah, I don't know. It's just why is that not regulated? Why is that accepted? Why is that not being worked on? And then another thing, really, like, the younger generations, the actually younger generations, someone who's like 4, 5, 6 years old, they would go to the game, they would watch it for the first time in their life. It shouldn't get into their brains that this is like a picture of a strong athlete, of a leader, like a captain of a team or something like that. How does that make any sense? Like, it really skews the kind of values that get into people's heads, and then if all of that is like backed up by the system, you get everything upside down. You get everything in reverse, because the guy was running, someone touched him, he fell down, he gets a penalty, he, let's say, scores a goal, and like he won the tournament. You know, like, he's a winner, like he, let's say, won for his country or something like that, but there is no real sportsmanship in there. There is no kind of like a higher meaning, like, I don't know, honesty, dignity, like actual, like, higher purpose to perform amazingly, and you know, people truly like for like how you perform. Yeah, that's what I think. Like, that's kind of how it should be, I would think. But it goes the other way, confusing people and kind of making it an half ugly show. And also, there's another thing, because I truly believe nothing is like so simple and like just a one-sided, because things like this, they happen, well, they also trigger a lot of people, which you can see on Reddit. There's like a lot of mad, angry comments, but then that also creates interest, because, you know, triggering negative emotions is actually a good thing, it turns out, because if people are gonna hate it, it will spread across the channels, it will spread across the media, people will talk about it, get mad, angry, but the point is they're talking about it. And I'm not sure if that's a really like a good way to do things, because it works, yes it does, 100%, but it feels really like dirty and I don't know, crappy. And I guess, well, the biggest corporations, the biggest like news sites and all that, they all use that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have like a final decision here, because realistically, gonna go back to these YouTube talks, but the best way to kind of like grow on YouTube, or okay, one of the best ways, is to go around these topics where people would hate you, they'd be triggered, like they would not like you, but it sparks in a discussion. It sparks like you will be like circling around the internet. People will talk about you, they'll like share you, mention you, and that just increases your popularity, and then that helps you grow, so you actually become more popular. So that's so twisted, and it feels wrong, and it doesn't, I don't know, I might actually eventually decide to go that route, even though, as I'm saying, I don't like it. It makes a lot of sense, but I don't like it, and it feels dirty. And then there are these on TikTok, they're all over the place, the Island Boy guys. Yeah, it's hilarious. Like, it's like, honestly speaking, their performance is like absolutely horrible. But see what just happened? I mentioned them, and probably, like, if you have never heard of them, that would trigger your interest. Like, oh, who is he talking about? Like, why is he talking about them? It's like absolute shitty performance. Everything's bad. They kind of went viral on TikTok because everyone was making fun of them, and people started doing parodies on them and things like that, because like that's how kind of bad it is. And eventually, like, what, 1, 2, 3 weeks after, these guys are doing a show, not a show, they're on the stage singing in a club or some kind of venue in Vegas or Miami or something like that, which is crazy. And like people inside the club are completely hating them. They're like angry, like booing them and all of that. But if you go to the comments, some people are like, why do you hate them, blah blah. I also don't get these comments when people say, why do you hate them? If something is truly bad, it's just bad. Like, you cannot give positive feedback to everything. If something is bad, it's okay to say it's bad. That's how normal life works. But again, yeah, with the newest trends and everything, it's totally not like that. It's like everything has to be good and polite, and you cannot hurt anyone's feelings, because feelings is the most important thing. And that's how the common sense is lost, and that's it. You're just kind of done. And so yeah, back to these guys in the TikTok, in the comments, people were actually very like actively admitting. Like the most liked comment was something like, "You guys realize we did that. Like we made them famous because of this like hateful, negative kind of momentum." People react to it, they get triggered, react, it keeps going like that, and that's it. And that's the trend, and that's where it all ends. So that's that. Funny stuff and funny things, and let's see if I want to discuss something else. It's gonna be, I feel like it's gonna be really challenging to do these every single day, but I feel like it's a better thing to do overall. Not sure if I will be able to actually do that every single day, because yeah, there's a bunch of things going on, even with the work and all these other things, and the New Year's is coming in like literally a month, basically, roughly speaking. In my city they have now like a Christmas market. Everything's decorated, it's beautiful, it's lovely, and I don't know why, but it feels kind of not cringy, but it feels, I don't know, it feels wrong, or it doesn't feel so Christmassy. It doesn't feel like a holiday yet. Maybe it's just because it's kind of early, but I usually would feel this kind of like New Year vibes, like the winter is coming, all of this like kind of, it's like a feel good type of environment. Right now it kind of doesn't feel like that. Maybe because the year has passed very fast, or maybe because of all of the restrictions, where kind of everything was the same in terms of like, it's lockdowns that are happening pretty much at the exact same time, it's the same events that are happening, and there is not a lot of like outside type of progress. The only progress that is happening is like inside. You either, for me, like I either progress with my projects, or I do something for myself, so that feels good. But then on the outside, it feels like time is moving also like way too fast, and now it's also crazy to believe that now it's 2022 in just a month. Yeah, weird. Oh, and by the way, on the 2022, I remember I saw somewhere, yeah, I'm not sure why, but with all the like American politics, it's just a funny, like a small observation that I noticed, how basically back when Trump was the president, there was like all this like massive hate against him, publicly, like in the main news and everywhere basically that you would go, there's all like, that's the main kind of message. And then now recently, so up until this point, or like very recently, the Joe Biden was like super like praised, and everyone was saying like, yay, the good president, like like he's still better, he's still good, he's still like, people were like supporting, and it's like a message about him in a very positive light, kind of in a very like positive meaning or something like that. So I guess like that's how it should be, or I don't know, it doesn't matter. I'm not even from US, so for me it literally doesn't matter. That's not the point of what I'm trying to say. So the next thing is that up until recently. Now I see the main message that goes in media and everywhere else. There's a lot more negative things that are appearing, like actual like celebrities and the people that are quite famous. They are starting to kind of turn on him and start saying negative things, even though, let's say, they supported him before. And that becomes a very strange and interesting dynamic because, yeah, I would think that it would be directed towards positivity all the way till the end, until he's like a president and he's done serving his what's it called, the years of presidency. But it looks like it's not, and for me that is really, really surprising, because I don't think it's not like I would like track politics forever, but I would pay attention sometimes a little bit, but I haven't really seen this much, like this big of a shift from the mainstream narrative, from the mainstream kind of perspective, from the main media perspective, which is surprising to me, because again, I have never seen that, and it's interesting to see where that goes. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. And then I guess I see I'm probably around the time, so I'm happy that I can call it the end. But really quickly, just to throw in the last things, it is tricky and a bit concerning, because there is, again, politically, with all the tensions between Russia and Ukraine that are happening, and they're slowly being inflated by media. Basically, I believe someone said there is proof that Russia is gonna attack Ukraine or do something with it in February, I believe, of the new year, 2022. I hope it's not gonna happen, but yeah, it would be a disaster. Definitely, like, we don't need any of that war action. The world is already kind of going down by itself, but yeah, hope it's not gonna happen. But again, the tensions are just kind of escalating. So that's it. This is where I'm gonna end, and yeah, that's it. Until next time.